Welcome to this week's edition of the Friday Finish. The legislature will be back next week after being on break for 2 glorious weeks. And if you recall, the Senate passed the tax increment financing bills prior to them going on break. And we expect Senate Bill 129 to have a hearing in the House Committee on Economic Development and Small Business. The other 3 bills, Senate Bill 130, 131, and 132, went to the Committee on House Tax Policy, and we'll have to see when that committee schedules to take those up for hearing. And while the legislature may have been on break, that does not mean that we have not been busy having conversations on housing downtown. The Housing Michigan Coalition met with Senate Majority Leader Winnie Brink's policy staffer to talk about what our next steps are as we look at legislation moving forward. And many thanks go to Brent Forsberg with TA Forsberg from Okemos for taking time out of his schedule to join me in a meeting with Representative Emily Diefendorf. Representative Diefendorf serves as the Majority Vice Chair of the Housing Subcommittee, and when the Housing Michigan Coalition presented last week, they had several questions in terms of housing and zoning and regulatory issues. And Brent was gracious enough to provide a Housing 101 conversation on all things that might be barriers to housing, as well as possible solutions. I hope you'll join us next week for our first Leaders of the Legislature session taking place in 2023. We are extremely excited to have Senate Majority Leader Winnie Brinks and Speaker of the House Joe Tate join us for a conversation on housing, how they see housing issues impacting their caucus, and what a legislative agenda might look like moving forward for the rest of the year. And that Zoom will begin at 9 a.m. on Friday, April 14th, and we hope to see you there. And Bob Filko will also be joining us next week to give an update on all the things he's been working on as well. Have a wonderful weekend.